Security in Sahel is disturbing. That's what Bagman is saying. Do or should all those in the West African sub-region, especially in the ECOWAS, look at it, how to tackle this issue, or should countries do it singularly, or what do you think can be done on that front? So come your way from Starr Radio. Okay, 10:53 at the time. Now moving on to other parts of the world, report says that at least 9 dead in Serbia school shooting. A schoolboy has been arrested after shots were fired at an elementary school in Serbia's capital. My goodness. A report puts Russian Navy ships near pipeline blast site. A documentary report Russian but back I think sometime a few months ago, yes, reports were coming in that it could have been the Ukrainians who sabotaged it. But another information coming through. But what do you think? Okay, Russia scales back Victory Day celebrations. The traditional Immortal Regiment procession will move online due to security concerns. That's some of the stories making the rounds there. Nothing we can do but watch babies die. Afghan hospitals in crisis. And a Texas shooting suspect captured after tip-off. Now, Francisco Orepeza, 38, was found hiding in a cupboard after a call to an FBI hotline. So he's been arrested now. So we hope that things get back to normal in that particular place. But when somebody say normal, what do you mean by normal? Okay, Laos government critic gunned down in coffee shop. The 25-year-old had a popular Facebook page where people aired views critical at the authorities. 25 years only, and he's been gunned down. Now, one other news that seems to be troubling is one pertaining to using of 5G on airplanes. Now, air travel chaos looms as U.S. keeps 5G deadline. So what is going to happen there? We'll be bringing you more on that front as the program goes on. Here in the UK, coronation protests allowed. Security ministers say campaign groups have received letters reminding them about penalties and the new protest laws. Well, if you go to protest, not my king, not my whatever, well, they say, yeah, you can go on, but remember. Now, what? Okay, bank closures prompt calls for high street hubs. Spaces shared by several different leaders could help communities that have seen, or lenders, lenders could help communities that have seen all their branches close. And some of the stories, and don't forget, millions have to work on coronation. Coronation celebration will depend on millions working through weekend, says trade unions as well. And the S&P appoints new auditors as deadline looms. The party risks losing 1.2 million of public funds if it does not file its account by the end of the month. Those are some of the stories making the rounds, and some others that we're going to be bringing from Nigeria. Buhari to attend King Charles III's coronation in London. So Buhari is going to be here. It's going to be one of his final due dates before he leaves the throne. Oh, no, not the throne, the helm of the country. The Senate President Igbos deserve number 3 position, Omahi says. Interesting. All right, then. So let's take a musical break. Once we come back, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki all geared up to lead us into what is happening from Nigeria. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Let me bring you this song from Pastor Theodore Boachiansa featuring Monk, and he says, I will dwell. Enjoy, and I'll see you in a moment.
BB Clements, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us in a moment. But some of the other stories that we're going to be looking at this morning pertains to imported Indomie special chicken flavor noodles banned in Nigeria. Imported Indomie, the special chicken flavor, has been banned in Nigeria. So we're going to be looking at that. And then the statement made by the Senate President saying Igbos deserve number 3 position. Do you think it's a wise saying? Why do they deserve number 3 position? Is it saying that with the presidency going to the southwest and the vice presidency in the north, so maybe the 3rd position, which is the House Speaker, should go to Igbos? Is that what he's trying to say? Or the Senate, I mean, I don't know. But we'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at that in a moment. When people feel marginalized that way, I mean, how do you actually pull them back in? That is why people agitate. Because they feel marginalized. They feel they're not being given same opportunities or equal opportunities that others are getting. And those of us who live in this part of the world, we talk about most of the time, so they have been racist because of the color of our skin, and therefore we don't get the opportunities that we're supposed to. And people have been making lots of noise. And therefore, when people in their own communities feel that way, then, I mean, it's something that they also need to do to express their disgust at what is happening when it comes to their rights as citizens of a country. And if that is not addressed, that is when people think that the best way forward is for us to actually also live. Okay? But you don't want that. The issue is if everybody's living in their house and everything is good and you're enjoying the meals and you are comfortable, whatever, though it might be that things are not all perfect or will not be all like the Midas touch issues, but you feel satisfied in a way. Why not? Why not? Okay. So a lot more going to be coming your way from there. But whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki, let me have a look at some of the other, somebody says, stuff that is going on there. And some of the other stories making the rounds there in Nigeria as well. And then I think I'll be touching on some of the other stories in other parts of the world so that when Yomi comes, we can just quickly just hop on and continue with what is happening here. Okay. Now, Sudan. In Sudan, whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki, the warring parties in Sudan have agreed to a 7-day truce starting May the 4th in a phone conversation with the South Sudan president, Salva Kiir. Now, the foreign ministry in Juba said Tuesday, raising hopes of an end to weeks of bloodshed. Now, Sudan's army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his deputy turned rival Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the paramilitary rapid support forces, have agreed in principle for a 7-day truce from May 4th to 11th, the ministry said in a statement. Now, hundreds of people have been killed and thousands wounded in the fighting as airstrikes and artillery exchanges have pounded swaths of greater Khartoum, sparking the exodus of thousands of Sudanese to neighboring countries. Now, two sides have also agreed to name their representatives to peace talks to be held at any venue of their choice, the statement from Juba said. Now, Kiir was speaking to Burhan and Daglo as part of an initiative by the East African Regional Bloc, IGAD Intergovernmental Authorities on Development, which has been pushing for an end to the fighting, echoing calls by the African Union and the international community. So, I think it's a right move. It's a right move there, and we hope, keeping fingers and everything crossed, that it will pan out well for that country. Because as we say all the time, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. And we don't want the people of Sudan. I mean, look at the number of people who have, hundreds of people who have died, and thousands are wounded as well. Can you talk about properties that have been destroyed and everything? Somebody say life is more important than all that. Yes, I agree with that. But can you just imagine the life that people have lived and everything they've acquired, sweat for, worked hard for, and then in just a split of a second, everything is just wiped off, and then for what? Because of your quest to become leaders? Or because you are power drunk? Well, we hope that peace conference that they're trying to attend will end up bringing good news to citizens there. Okay, I think we've got Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who is all set to also come on now. So let's see whether he can hear us. Yomi, good morning.
Very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning to our listeners around the globe. And welcome once again to the morning show, the Wednesday edition, the 3rd of May, 2023.
Yes. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I can't complain. It is very beautiful weather out there. It is also the Wednesday, so we're looking forward to the program later on this evening, where we're going to be discussing, artists is now countdown. There's a lot out there to discuss, but one thing is that we're doing very well, and it's good to be back again this morning for the program where we continue to discuss everything from Africa on the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes. Listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. So now let's go straight to Nigeria this morning. Now, the tribunal is going to be sitting from Monday pertaining to the election results. Now, and we have the 29th as they slated for Tinubu to be sworn in as president of the country. Do you think, or listening to people, experts, or yes, political experts and analysts, do you think there's going to be any change at all, or it's just a done deal? This is just something whitewash, and then we just move on. What do you think?
Well, it seems that those that are in concern, and we're talking about the three main gladiator right here. We're talking about Peter Obi, we're talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we are also talking about Atiku Abubakar. They believe that the judiciary would do the needful, and that would literally bring at least sanity back to what INEC could not perform. You did ask whether this is possible, in terms of, looking back to the history of Nigeria. And when we look back the history of Nigeria, we've never seen any upturn of a presidential, sitting. We've seen it in the governorship, but not in the presidential. But there's nothing new in the world, they say, and it could be maybe this could be the biggest change in Africa, the biggest in terms of a presidential election. But one thing is next week Monday has now been fixed for the hearing of the petition that is challenging the declaration of the All Progressive Congress standard bearer Bola Tinubu as the president-elect. With this new development, the legal battle by these candidates that are disputing the outcome of the 2023 presidential poll will commence May the 8th. One thing is, according to, legal advisor, for the APC, Ahmed Ali Mazouk, has confirmed the date. He said the APC legal team had been briefed and was ready to defend the party's mandate. We have been briefed about the hearing coming up, but who told you the election petition at the tribunal was necessary be concluded before the May 29th? The question is, are you saying that if you were not concluded before President Buhari leaves, the government should be left in vacuum and the president-elect should not be sworn in. It is not a must, he stated in response to the question about the time it would take for the petition to be decided. We're talking about time frame now. Today is the 3rd day of May. That literally means that we have 26 days to count down before May 29, when the swearing in is meant to take place.
It's interesting because it was the timeline that I was also looking at. That has the tribunal given any timelines that look, we're going to be sitting for a month and then we'll make sure that we adjudicate by that time. Have they said anything of the sort at all?
Well, I mean, like I said, no one will be able to confirm, how quick this tribunal will conclude. But what we do know is that, there's a big challenge from Atiku that is the second and the Peter Obi at the third runner, and the three of them doesn't seem to be satisfied with the 25th poll. But whether the timing will bring back, sanity between now and 26 days. I mean, then time will tell. But Tinubu, in a preliminary objection filed by his team of lawyers led by Chief Olayomi saying, pray that the court to dismiss the entire petition. Well, he will not be able to do so because it seems that everything is about prayer in Nigeria. But what the petition that have been submitted is all about the evidence, not about the prayer this time around.
Okay. Well, we hope to see what is going to happen on that front. But that will lead me straight to the statement that the Senate President has made, saying that Igbos deserve number 3 position. That Omahi saying that. What does it mean by that? Does it mean that in the hierarchy, because Tinubu has won the presidency, maybe the vice president, because he also hails from the north, maybe either the speaker or maybe one of them, the third in command of the country, should be Igbo? Is that what he's trying to say? Or you think that Igbos are not that good and therefore they have to be, after these two have taken their place before they come in?
Well, the current situation in Nigeria, it's a very, very turbulent one. I mean, we've never seen a situation where we have a Muslim ticket. So we've now got a vice president and a president that is Muslim, and that literally means that if the northern part of Nigeria wants to get the Senate, which is the third position, then there's likely that we will then have Muslim. But in a nutshell, I mean, it's meant to be power sharing balance. So that way, all other regions are carried along. But the Senate President, Igbos deserve number 3 position, is coming from Umahi. The Southeast deserve the number 3 position, says the Governor David Umahi. Says that the Southeast deserve this Senate President to deepen the nation's democracy. But we know that Ahmed Lawan is still veering for that same position, even though he shouldn't be in that position because he has already contested under the primaries of the APC. Mr. Umahi stated this when he addressed the State House correspondent after he had a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. Buhari doesn't have much say anymore, in terms of what Tinubu will be deciding, but it might influence that. But according to him, having given the needed support to President-elect Bola Tinubu, the Southeast should now be compensated with the position of the Senate President. Okay.
If that is how he is calling it, then fine. But again, someone will say merit. There's a person who is there, does it qualify to do it? But for power balance sake, I think it's something that if they do, it will help us greatly. Well, it is Starr Radio UK, updates from Nigeria, with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios. Now, we have President Buhari coming to the UK. Is it going to be his last assignment, or as the president of the country, some international assignment that he's attending to?
Well, I've been listening carefully to you before joining, and this weekend is kind of been one of the biggest showcase that the UK will be projecting again to the international community, especially after the last one, which was the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and, the whole ceremony. We could see, what UK does best in terms of, the PR, getting things right, and I'm sure there's a lot of training going on. I was listening to the, morning from another broadcast this morning where there was a disturbance, in Buckingham Palace, I believe yesterday. This weekend might see that President Muhammadu Buhari might be coming again to London. We thought that his final trip would be to Saudi Arabia, but it has now been confirmed that President Muhammadu Buhari would also be attending King Charles, coronation that is coming up, within the next couple of days, which is Saturday here in UK. A very, very busy one. I believe Buhari might arrive probably on a Friday. Maybe by the time he's arriving, Ike Kirimadu will have been sentenced. And then, as much as there's still a lot of pressure from the Nigerian, government, not literally Buhari, but from the House of Red, they are sending letter to the British government to put a bit of lenience to, Ike Kirimadu's sentence, but I'm not sure whether anything will change. But also, Buhari has also said, I have delivered on the change agenda. What does he mean by that? President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday in Abuja said his regime had delivered change to Nigerians, especially in the area of affordable housing. Appraising his regime performance in office during the inauguration of a housing estate in Zuba, Abuja, the president claimed that the new housing estate was addressing multidimensional poverty among the citizens.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. So I hope that they are not coming this time around like what happened the other time where they were all put, when the Queen died and they were buzzed. All the the president or leaders of various countries were buzzed. So Buhari will not have his own car to sit in. But we hope to see what is going to happen. I know, because if they want to bring them, let them come in individually. I bet it's going to take us ages for the coronation to take place. But we'll see what happens there. We welcome him. Yes, he has to come. That's his last international assignment. All right. Now, let's move on straight to some other stories before I hand over to Yomi to bring... Now, Sheikh Husani is tackling Wike over declaring public holiday and closing businesses for Tinubu's visit. Why is that a problem?
Well, Nigerian politicians are always looking for favor, and that literally means that, favor means that, a kind of, backing to, who is going to be the next president. Now that Tinubu is going to be the next president, there's going to be, quite a lot of movement, quite a lot of shake and there. But Wike, desperate for favor and accommodation is coming from, Sheikh Husani. Sheikh Husani was one of a former senator, a former lawmaker, says has slammed Governor Nelson Wike of Rivers State for grounding economic and social and educational activities of the state over the visit of President-elect Bola Tinubu. Husani said it is a mark of desperation for favor and accommodation, which we do know. Like I say, that most of these, governors and politicians do. Recall that Wike had declared Wednesday today as May 3rd public holiday over Tinubu's 2 days visit to the state. Tinubu is also expected to commission some projects while in the state. However, Sani, a social critic, says that Wike grounding economic activities because of Tinubu visit was just a mark of desperation and of favor as well.
Well, he's a governor already, so I don't know what favor he wants from the president.
Well, I mean, Wike has already completed his term. He's going to be leaving, so that means he might be expecting Tinubu, even though they are both in different political parties. PDP has been Wike for almost so long, even though he couldn't get the presidential ticket, which Atiku Abubakar got, and probably he hasn't made any move in terms of moving to APC. But as we do know, he's probably looking for soft landing by the time he's completing his governorship, when Tinubu will be taking over as the new president under the APC.
So do we say that Wike is no more part of the PDP? The way he's going about things looks like he's departed the PDP completely then.
Well, Wike has not yet officially said so, but he never gave Atiku the full support Atiku needed. Remember, there were the 5G governors that all refused to allow certain part of the PDP members in their state to endorse Atiku, and that is still a wrangling that is going on as we speak right now.
Well, I know that Atiku might be saying that they are the cause of his defeat. If not, maybe he would have garnered more support there. But well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Now let's come to one serious incident or issue that is going on pertaining to the Indomie. Now, the Director General of the National Agency for Food, Drugs Administration and Control, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has hinted at the reasons behind banning the Indomie super chicken flavor in Nigeria. Have you tasted that one before, the super chicken flavor?
Well, I've tasted both the onion and the chicken. But one thing about what we do know in terms of food into the country is not us as the same. I mean, almost every country are very, very skeptical. Yeah, in UK, you probably won't allow to bring cheese from certain countries, and dairy as well, and so many other food because of food poisoning, and that could also have impact. But citing fewer clinical tests, registration and production of the flavor in the country, Adeyeye said the agency has now commenced sampling and analysis of other Indomie noodles flavors, including their seasoning, for the presence of ethnic oxida. She assured Nigerians of a thorough investigation of the product, both at the factory and the market level. In a statement that was made yesterday to the agency, made available to the newsmen, Adeyeye claimed the outcome on the sample analysis of the product will be made public. It partly read Indomie instant noodles product and other brands of noodles registered by NAFDAC for sale in Nigerian market and manufactured in Nigeria are only guaranteed NAFDAC registration status. We know that this is one of the most eaten produce in Nigeria, not for any other reason. It's very cheap, it's quick to produce, and it's quick to to cook. Mm-hmm. So that literally means that they've been able to settle down in a market in Nigeria where there's about almost 200 million Nigerians. Not everybody can afford it, but like I said, it's still one of those meals that goes with so many Nigerians from southeast to the southwest to the north to the middle belt.
Because I know my granddaughter, I've got a granddaughter, in Ghana, and then the mom would say that she likes Indomie. So I bought some and just so I was thinking, what are they talking about? But I know that buying it from here, it's been tested and everything before it gets on the markets here. But as we are saying, if they have to do diligence to scrutinize it to make sure that it's not got any health implication, why not? That would be okay. But do you think that people care about when the leadership come to make such statements?
Well, it gives a bit of assurance, even though we know in a market like Nigeria, everything goes, but it is still also important for NAFDAC to make sure that whatever goes within the market is very consumable, for the citizens. But like I said, as much as we've seen even cows that have died and people still end up eating them, it seems that Nigerians, due to the situation on the ground, as the capital poverty of the world, everybody hardly care what they are eating, unlike here in Europe, where whatever you are taking is very, very important, but it's also the responsibility of the government, which they're actually doing by making sure that whatever noodles is being produced in Nigeria or brought into the country is something that needs to be checked. She, however, say it is important to mention that noodles are on the import prohibition list of the federal government, so you cannot import them into the country. It has to be produced in Nigeria and therefore are not permitted for importation to Nigeria, according to the federal government.
Oh, I see. Well, it's good. It's created an industry and it created jobs for Nigerians. So why not? All right then, listen, Starr Radio UK. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Due to the time constraint, we're just going to go straight to one or two more. Federal government have now sued Facebook owner and demands 30 billion naira. What could be the reason? According to AMCOM, is seeking 30 billion naira in fine and sanction for continued violations and infractions of the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria Act number 23 of 2022. The Abuja division of the Federal High Court has now granted the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria leave to serve a writ of summons on the matter, the owner of Facebook. The court gave the nod to an application by AMCON in pending 30 billion naira suit against the social media giant for violation of the extant advertising laws of Nigeria. We do know that Facebook goes through a lot in different parts of the world. It seems that the Nigerian government are not also relenting. One of the most important documents that anyone around the world as a country have is what they call the passport. But the corruption in the passport sector, and I'm even talking about here in UK, where you have to pay certain amount of money, up to 100 to 150 pounds, before you can be getting your own passport. I mean,
in the Nigerian High Commission.
Oh yes, yeah. In UK, in the Nigerian High Commission, there's a lot of individuals that have paid such, and there's a lot of evidence around that as well. So if this is happening in UK, trust me, in Nigeria is just a lot of different scenarios as well. We have a lot of Nigerians that are stuck in Libya, where the IOM is trying to bring them back to Nigeria, but the Nigerian embassy in Libya is demanding about 500,000 naira from some of these individuals. Some of them have been in prison for the last 2 years, and the Libyan have said, take them back to Nigeria. IOM is ready to facilitate it, but the Nigerian embassy in Libya doesn't want to do the same thing. All they're asking for is money. But it now seems that this headline says few corrupt officials are undermining the passport insurance, according to Aregbe Shola Raufu. And like I said, a lot of Nigerians have complained to us here in the UK, when they're trying to apply for their Nigerian passport, they have to kick back, just as, kickback is not allowed. But, even here in the UK, it's still something that goes ahead at the Nigerian High Commission at Northumberland here in London. The Minister of Interior, Raufu Aregbe Shola, says few corrupt officials are undermining the effort of the Nigerian immigration services at sanitizing the process and bringing integrity to the passport application. Aregbe Shola was making this known in Oyo Town while he was inaugurating the NIS passport front office on Tuesday. Also, you might not believe this, but this happened even up to last year. You can still change your date of birth when you even have one when you want to get a new passport.
Interesting. Okay, that's quite an interesting one. Well, listen to Starr Radio UK. Now, before we run up the conversation, what is happening on the social media platform?
Well, the social media has been full, and maybe tomorrow, if time permits, we might be taking us to where Seyi Tinubu, the son of the president-elect, is buying a house that the federal government confiscated from Dezeni and Aluko, one of those those criminals that stole so much out of the crude oil proceed and bought a house here in UK. What we found out was Seyi Tinubu, according to Bloomberg yesterday, released information that a house was paid by one of his companies to the tune of $11 million right here in St. John's Wood. We have the house address, and I might be visiting that maybe tomorrow, Friday, if time permits. But what we do know that, that is now generating a lot of conversation. How Tinubu's son, Seyi Tinubu, firm, paid 11 million. There's nothing wrong if he's buying a property in UK, but the problem is the property he's buying is what Buhari confiscated from another criminal gangs known as Dezeni, the former minister of petroleum, and Aluko, his boyfriend that was moving money on her behalf. And that is generating a lot of conversation since yesterday on the social media when the news actually broke, after we left, Starr Radio UK, the news broke. Amechi is trending. It seems that London is trending at about 254,000, not literally because of the coronation that is coming, even though we know Tiwa Savage will be playing according to the news from the Buckingham Palace, but it is all about the corruption. And according to JP says, the corrupt document seen by Bloomberg shows for the first time that Tinubu's a 37-year-old Seyi Tinubu is the main shareholder of Aranda Overseas Corporation, an offshore company that paid £9 million to Dutch Bank for property in North London in the late 2017. This same property was meant to have been confiscated when Buhari came in 2015. According to Bloomberg Africa itself, it says Nigeria target a 11 million London mansion over a corruption probe. The question then is this just the beginning of corruption, or is corruption just something that will never end in Nigeria? We're going to take one more from the social media this morning, and I'm going to return back to you. So tonight, we'll be reviewing how much can you get from being part of criminal activities in Nigeria, or the influence and you can end up buying a property here. So we're going to be looking at that later on Niger Voices. How did Seyi Tinubu manage, to buy this property, and how was the money being moved from one end to the other? So let's look at some of the other things that is trending. At about 19 minutes ago, Simon Ekpa, the Biafra government in exile, a popular pro-Biafra agitator, a separatist, has reacted to the alleged lynching of a business people in different locations in Lagos State. He also condemned the demolition of the properties of the Igbos in Ajao Estate. That is coming from, Simon Ekpa there. So let's take a look at some of the other news as well. I'm not sure why Saudi Arabia is trending. We know that Nigerians have a lot of relationship with Saudi Arabia, but Nigeria seems also to be trending at about 13,000. So let's look at, while Saudi Arabia is trending, because we know that people have just returned back from Umrah. But let's see. It might got to do with, it seems that it's got to do with Messi, and Nigerians are falling in love with Messi and Ronaldo. And when that is trending on Nigerian network, it's definitely because of Lionel Messi. From what we are reading here, Lionel Messi has been suspended for 2 weeks by the PSG and will be fined after taking an unauthorized trip to Saudi Arabia. So you can tell that Nigerians with the football is back to back. So that is why that is trending this morning. But again, Nigerian itself is trending at about almost 13,000. And let's say why Nigerian itself is trending. And that has got to do with 13,000 Nigerians benefited from the flood relief intervention by the federal government. President Muhammadu Buhari commissioned 748 housing units. We hope this is going to go to the to the people, not just corrupt politicians as well. And it seems that is the reason why that 13,000 is trending. Also, I believe it's got to do with the flood relief intervention. 13,000 Nigerians. Well, not a big number, but whoever benefit from that, at least that will relieve them a little bit. Starr Radio UK until about 6 o'clock later on this evening, when we come back with the Niger Voices, and we'll be discussing Seyi Tinubu, his property in London, and election petition next week Monday. So it's a mixed bag of a lot happening later on tonight. But like I said, there's just too much going on in Nigeria. And according to Eddie Young, Nigerian High Commission UK is a shamble. I am so hungry. Kule Shita says, good morning. Kingsley says, corruption can never end in Nigeria. Shegwano says, greetings to Starr Radio UK. Christina Ademola says, good afternoon. Justin Reason says, Yoruba nation enthusiasm does not mean we should ignore goings on in Nigeria state, though. And as well, Adetayo say, but is there anything that concerns us with Nigeria? And that is the reason why Justin Reason say, well, even though if we are fighting for Yoruba nation, we still have to talk about the issues in Nigeria, which is definitely the country that a lot of us wants to live. And if you're not talking about it, then what are you going to be talking about?
Of course. We have to talk about it. Even we talk about other countries that we don't hail from. We look at their current issues and we talk about them. So why not the geographical area that you are living? We have to talk about what is going on. All right then. Okay, Yomi, let me say thank you very much, and we'll see you at 18 hours.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios, bringing you updates from Nigeria. And as we said, this evening exactly at 18 hours BST, he's going to be joining us to bring us Niger Voices. So make a date and don't touch the dial. Let's take a quick commercial break. We come back and then we continue with the show. Stay tuned. Starr Radio UK, the Wednesday edition of the morning show.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction.
Our people. I've been on it. Koda awo mi kun láàárọ̀ tí bá náwó mi kun ro ni mo pa, but to mute eléyìí. Ti koikimedia, just reason àwa mi kun lè ṣíta ẹ má bínú mo nílé jókòó mo tẹ̀ nílé jókòó rárá because ọwọ́ mi kún gan iṣẹ́ wà fún mi tí mò ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tèmi náà ní private life so ìyẹn ni àfi nílé jókòó lórí ti Starr Radio tá ti parí nísìn àwọn àtúntò tó ń padà bọ̀ nírọ̀lẹ́ ẹ̀yin tèmi ẹ̀kọ́ wojú mi briefly ni ẹ̀kọ́ jẹ́ ká wojú ara wa briefly ọwọ́ ọmọ yín kún bàjẹ́ ṣe láfíà kó a gbọ́dọ̀ máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ta ló ní ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ìlú òṣèwọ ó ti di dandan ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà náà a gbọ́dọ̀ máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ní gbogbo ìgbà a gbọ́dọ̀ máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ní gbogbo ìgbà so mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè amúadélẹ̀ lérí bó pẹ́ bóyá ojú ló pẹ́ sí ni aláì ojú ló pẹ́ sí reflection ẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù òun weather ẹ̀ ó fine gan níta I have a lot ẹ má bínú pé mo lè padà jáde mọ́ lánàá ó rẹ bọ́dì díẹ̀ ni body no be wood àlàáfíà mo wà Mr. Ojo Ogunyemi àlàáfíà ni ọmọ yín wà o àlàáfíà ni mo wà o iṣẹ́ pọ̀pọ̀ náà ni so much to do you love my car fìlà tí Buhari máa wọ̀ wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ Prince Charles lélẹ̀ ṣé bàbá ṣé Buhari wọ́n ní Buhari ń bọ̀ London ẹ ká lọ kí Buhari ni ṣé Buhari ṣé bàbá wèrè bàbá burúkú ni ṣé bàbá ṣé Buhari ṣé bàbá we get a jókòó so that kíkọ̀ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ briefly kò tẹ́ gbọ́dọ̀ pẹ́ rárá a kò sọ̀rọ̀ briefly ni because I have to go now a kò sọ̀rọ̀ briefly ni briefly nǹkan laptop mi ká ṣe báyìí so where is cap on Mr. Koiki báwo làdúgbò tí yín lọ́hùn ṣe ti ń rówó gbà nínú machine abẹ́ rówó gbà Nigeria is at the verge of breakup gbogbo ẹ̀ ti dàrú pátápátá ní Nigeria ọlọ́run Nigeria is a crazy country àgbákò ní Nigeria yẹn àgbákò chasolúmọ ìlú tó ti bayé jẹ́ mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí mixlr aláwọ̀ bàbá báwo làdúgbò yìí àwọn tó ròkú kan ní ìgbà àwọn ọmọ mi sọ fún mi láàárọ̀ wọ́n ní bàbá kan kú ọ̀rọ̀ òkú ẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn kan máa kú ìlú tó tẹ̀ ní value system kankan fẹ́ anybody anyway ìlú tó ní value system fẹ́ anybody yóò la fi máa ṣe gbélé dà ó lágbára o ìlú tó ní value system no value system for anybody no value system for anybody. Pastor Mo ẹ káàárọ̀ mà so mo fẹ́ lọ sí ilé tí wọ́n ní ṣe Tinubu rà yẹn but àwọn ọmọ Oòduà arrangement yẹn change láàárọ̀ yìí ní lọ sí studio later so so àwọn mi kún gan ẹ̀tàn fún ni látàárọ̀ àmọ́ tí mo ti pa I slept a little bit late. I was almost going to come out yesterday, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it at all. The world is revolving. Mr. Nuruddin, ṣé láfíà kó? So agbára Elédùmarè Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú wa. Whether they like it or not, àwa la máa borí. Sọgbọ́n. Nigeria is going through a lot of problems. Nigeria ti wà in a distress situation. Ó ti wà in a distress situation. Mr. Jimoh kí Nigeria ti wà in a distress situation gan. Very, very distressed. Ó dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ break ni. Mo kí mọ́mí wa ìyàwó Tóyìn. So about the 12 o'clock, I'm just gonna close the broadcast. Then about the 6, àpadà wá ní 6 o'clock, where we have more conversation. Oríṣiríṣi fìlàmì sójà ni mo ní nínú ilé. Mo fẹ́ ra àwọn oníwọ̀n mi gan sef. Mo ì tí ì rí lórí eBay ni. Juliet Tosin, báwo làdúgbò yín? So whether they like it or not, wọ́n máa fi di this time next year lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àwọn kan ara wọn ti balẹ̀. Wọ́n sọ fún pé ẹja àjọ ṣe pé ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, wọ́n ní ká shut up. Wọ́n ní Tinubu ló máa wá ṣe. Tinubu ti sọ́ta rẹ̀ á tó máa wá ṣe nǹkan kan. Kí ni Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe? Kò lè rí páì Tinubu ò lè rí ṣe bó ṣe wà rẹ̀ láì. Tinubu ò lè rí kò lè rí jack shit ṣe bó ṣe wà rẹ̀. Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan tó need help. Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan need help. Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan òun gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan need help. Allah. Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan òun gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan need help. Mr. Frank Dudu. Bàbá fi wọlé lánàá. I had a lot of paperwork to do. Mr. Kenneth Iwo. Mr. Bale Dadanurudin. Okay, well, I'll conceal. We will get there. Stage by stage. You know, I'm going to rush. On she rushing. At the dismantle Nigeria. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Ìtókù tá máa dismantle nísìn. Mo gbọ́ audio kan tí ọ̀kan ṣe lánàá mo mọ̀ tó ṣe. Èmi mi ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé àwọn politicians gbogbo wàhálà tá à ń fà yìí. Tábà ti lọ arímọ́ àwọn politicians wa tájọ larí mọ́ra wa. Ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀nà ẹ̀ka ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ wàhálà. Ẹ̀ka san grandma Felicia Àjàgbé ẹ̀ka san máa. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn politicians wa gangan lẹ́ẹ̀ka ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ wàhálà. Àwọn Yorùbá politician, governor, deputy governor, House of Rep. Tabatili knock àwọn yẹn out. Because they are not going to allow Yoruba to break. They are not. And àwọn gangan they ló ń di movement yẹn mú. Kò ń ṣe Buhari ló ṣe nísìn ṣe Buhari ò ti lọ nísìn. Ibi Tinubu ló ti fẹ́ wọlé nísìn. So àwọn politicians wa gangan ló ń hold wa. Àwọn gangan ní igi tó ń da gbogbo ẹ̀rú. The moment we can tell our politicians that we are not interested in Nigeria anymore, that will be the end of it. That will be the end of it. We shut it down. Ìjọba wa ti lè sọ fún àwọn politicians wa pé enough is enough. A ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ̀. Ìjọ ẹ̀ ni àwọn politicians wa máa mọ̀ pé àṣírí rárá. Bọ̀tà bá ṣì ń bá wọn ṣe ilé ìta ṣe tí o bá jọ ń àkàn wà lórí social media educate reasons why we need to go. Grandma Lee Ajayi ẹ̀ka sọ́mà. Our politicians gangan ni problem. Àwọn gan ló ń hold because for them our politician they say the Yoruba nation movement yìí mo tẹ̀ gbọ́ tí gbogbo tọmọ olúkà ní tó ní ìyá yẹn ò di flag mú láti jọ ẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ di flag mú ẹ̀ tó ní flag nínú ilé ẹ̀ tó ń pariwo Yoruba nation cause office slow gbogbo nǹkan down. Our politicians are gone. They are the main obstacle. The Yoruba politicians are the main obstacle. The moment we can find a way to deal with them. I mean, I'm not saying we should kill them, but we can hold them to ransom and hold them to bondage, and that's all. Ìjọ tá a bá ti rí yẹn ṣe àti wà halfway through. Freedom ò ń ṣe tọkàn máa gbà. It doesn't come cheap. Àwọn tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ master of fi slave sílẹ̀ òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. They are not ready. Wọ́n fi wá sílẹ̀ lọ́rùn, so they believe that wọ́n believe pé àwa ni slaves ká wà lábẹ́ politician. Èèyàn kú nìbàdàn, wọ́n send video ẹ̀ sí mi. I'm gonna post it later. I think we can post it. Wọ́n ti post it sínú Koiki WhatsApp group news media because I've been so busy látàárọ̀. Kódà mo tẹ̀ tán fóònù látẹ̀ nǹkan mo ṣẹ̀tàn láàárọ̀ yìí nísìnyí. Messages àti kún lórí ẹ̀ bàjẹ́. Báwo nìyẹn ṣe lè kú látànà sí sport kan wọ́n ṣẹ̀ ń gbé láàárọ̀ yìí ní Ìbàdàn ní 2023 ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní gọ́vnà. Àwọn nǹkan kéékèèké yẹn gan tó káwọn èèyàn máa jáde kọ́ protest but ní Koiki protest nìkan ló mọ̀ sọ ò ní kan mi tó fi sọ. Àwọn Paris nísìnyí even though pé wọ́n ti make a decision pé retirement age will be 67 wọ́n sì protest níjọ́ Monday tọ́dẹ̀ sùn kan tó bá nǹkan jẹ́ but táwọn bá ní ká protest wọ́n ní àwọn ìfikún jẹ ni wọ́n máa ní kinní kan. Wọ́n ní èèyàn kan jókòó sí London pariwo protest ní Nàìjíríà. Fídíò yẹn lélẹ̀ nísìn tọmọ mi sẹ́ndì sí mi. Èèyàn kú òkú wà láti ìní Wednesday látijọ́ Tuesday lẹ́ni ẹ ti kú ó kú sí títì. Bí kò bá tẹ̀lé yàn ṣé kò sí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ibi gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wà. But our people, I think that they fall in love with the politicians. Bí a politician bí ẹ̀rín kan gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn ni, politician tó ní ìwúlò kankan fún yín. It's just a shame. It's a shame the thinking of our people. They can't think straight at all. Mr. Shitomo Mimokin, Mr. Kazim Olawale. Our people cannot think at all. Everybody's waiting for, one kind of miracle. Miracle ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Miracle tó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ náà ni pé kéde àyèdè wà láàrin àwọn politician. Àwọn politician náà dẹ̀ fẹ́ kéde àyèdè wà láàrin wọn. So, there's a lot of pressure out there. Àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ pé torí àwa wà níta la ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tẹ́mi náà bá wà nílé, it could be difficult for me to listen to you guys outside, but just as simple as that, we just have to do what we have to do. And nobody's coming to help anybody. Nobody's coming. I'm the alone on you. But I know that the current situation of Nigeria will never be the same. Ogun Ukraine ló ń ṣe nísìn, ìjà ń lọ rẹpẹtẹ ni. Ìbàlújẹ́ gbogbo ẹ ti bàjẹ́. If you can't come into a round table, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni èdè ni èdè wà láàrin àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ti dè wọ́n sínú atẹ́gùn burúkú. Wọ́n ti release oríṣiríṣi àǹjọ̀nú sí Nàìjíríà. So ẹlòmíì wà kọ́ máa wo nǹkan tó máa àbí lánàá mo jókòó sí bíbá ẹ̀. Mo ti yàwó mi wò lórí TV. Sometimes you just wonder ṣáwọn yẹn tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé kàn ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n wà ń ṣe party lọ́n tí wọ́n. I cannot reason anything. But one thing is the inflation tó máa dé bá Nàìjíríà nínú ọdún yìí. Tinubu náà máa wá bí tó ti fẹ́ yá loan nísìn to run the government. Nigeria, we don't have reserve. We ṣe máa ṣe program lé lórí. Ní reserve kankan. Gbogbo years tó yẹ kí Nigeria fi save owó so that a lè máa rí owó yẹn ná nísìn. They just squander all the money. All the money was squandered. And that's why everybody is struggling. UK náà ó wà on balance gan. I mean mo ń ka paper ní àwọn ọmọdé drop àwọn ọmọ yẹn sí school láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. You know, I read the paper, so ọ̀fẹ́ ní paper yẹn. There's a lot happening here as well. Wèrè wà ní bíbá náà. Eléyìí nísìn ó pa nọ́ọ̀sì killer nurse weeps in the court. Kí ló ń sọkún fún? Kí ló pa fún in the first place? Sọ fún yín pé wèrè àtàsínwé náà wà nílùú yìí. Torí nísìn tí bá fẹ́ gba 3G mobile phone nísìn 3 month free màá máa san £24 from £24 unlimited data unlimited for £24. Má ṣe rẹ̀ sówó Nàìjíríà kan ni mò ń ná but at least ìkan náà fóònù mi tí mò ń lò eléyìí nísìn 3G ni fóònù tí mò ń lò yìí 3G ni but èmi ò san £24 o there be £10 or something mo sọ ẹ̀mọ́rẹ̀ mo sọ because mo gba contract mo renew contract mi pẹ̀lú with a mobile phone tó bá fi gba phone lọ́mọ owó ẹ̀ máa ń pọ̀ wàá máa sanwó fóònù yẹn díẹ̀díẹ̀ pẹ̀lú contract tó bá wá gbogbo táwọn sọ ẹ̀yin ẹ̀rọ MTN nísìn kó tó ra 1,000 naira àbí èlò lẹ́ máa ń rà ó ti jóná pópópópópó ó ti jóná wàá tún lọ ra Glo pópópópópó ó ti jóná wàá ra Airtel pópópópópó ó ti jóná kò tí pé 1 month ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa nísìn fóònù mi eléyìí pay as you go ni ó fún mi ní I think it's about £10 bóyá £10 ni mò ń san but ilé contract ní ilé tí mo fún wọ̀nyí but ilé pay as you go ni Virgin ló wà ní ilé 3G nìyẹn mo lè ṣe ní bí can't remember bí 18 gig or something so adi la máa fi ń lò tán. Internet is meant to be very cheap. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló fi ń yàn yín jẹ ní Nàìjíríà. Kò àwọn kinní yòó kò ń ṣe big deal but wọ́n fẹ́ sọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo blood yín kọ́ sọ́ọ̀kì blood yín kọ́ sọ́ọ̀kì blood yín kọ́ sọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo body yín. That's what they're doing. It's a wicked country. But àwọn náà problem wà níbí báyìí náà. Mo kàn fẹ́ wo news headline níbí báyìí kí n tún wò nǹkan míì. Bọ̀bọ́ yìí wọ́n jí mọ́tò ẹ̀ Tesla tó ṣẹ̀rà lawn tennis player ni mo ti kà yẹn gan lórí evening standard lánàá wọ́n jí Tesla yẹn tí wọ́n mọ̀ pé orí mobile phone ló ti control mọ́tò yẹn tó slow down orí fóònù ẹ̀ ló ti control mọ́tò yẹn ó slow mọ́tò yẹn down níbi tí technology dé mọ́tò tó ń wò yìí Tesla yìí this Tesla was stolen same day ẹ náà lọ mú mọ́tò yẹn kò ń ṣe next day o that is technology. Kò máa bó KOKImedia. Mo ti fẹ́ wọ another prison worker arrested for kissing a murderer. Ẹni tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní prison ó tún lọ ń kiss ẹni tó pààyàn. Prison newspaper ti UK nílé yìí. Prison worker arrested for kissing a murderer. A prison worker has been suspended after kissing Jordan, the killer of Zara Alina. It has been reported. MC Swanee is locked up for at least 38 years for sexually motivated murder of an aspiring lawyer in Ilford, East London. Since December, the 29-year-old has been involved in a romantic relationship. Only unfair prisoner. So what is suspend the prisoner? So nǹkan kan cheap ní bíbáyìí náà. O rò pé cheap ni ló tó àmà wọ́n sọ pé BP British Petroleum ní last year gbogbo owó bíìlì wa ló ti lọ sókè nílùú yìí gas bill tó bá mọ ẹni tí mò ń san ní gas bill nísìn o rò pé easy ni sorry BP blast over £4 billion profit as energy bills remain high gbogbo household ní UK pátápátá àti ní àwọn Scotland yẹn ló ṣe ń sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ kúrò nínú UK because àwọn làwọn ní gas àwọn ló ń sanwó tó pọ̀ jù just like àwa la lépo. How much lẹ́ ń rẹ́po nísìn? How much is it per litre? Is it 400 naira or 450 or 350? Èlò lẹ́ ń rà? Tí Tinubu bá máa fi land wọlé nísìn I'm not sure ìwé tó bá yọ subsidy yẹn ìyá máa jẹ ṣégè sí gbogbo wa lára ìbá nẹ́yìn tó bá ti lè yọ subsidy yẹn Wike declaring a public holiday torí Tinubu ń bọ̀ kí ló tó wà nígbà tí mo fi fi wọ̀nyí. Russian casualty total 100,000 in a failed assault. If you want another news ni o. Archbishop ó ní òun ṣe dandan ni pé kẹ́ swear allegiance sí King Charles. Ó máa jẹ ọba níjọ́ Saturday Ọlọ́run ṣọ́ wa dìgbà yẹn. Ṣó máa pé máa yìí kó tó jẹ́ Archbishop tẹ́rin máa yìí ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà rí o pẹ̀lú Shell. Bàbá tẹ̀ ń wò yìí ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ Nàìjíríà o kó tó di kó wá fi jẹ́ Archbishop. Ọ̀rẹ́ Buhari ni ẹjẹ́ àrántí máa yẹn. Ọ̀rẹ́ Buhari ni ọ̀rẹ́ sí bàbá. 210 lẹ́rẹ́pọ̀ okay ó cheap now àbí 210 kẹ ẹ shop pé per litre is 210 so ti drop down ní àbí báwo queen lélẹ̀ kó tó kú ló tún wà nígbà tí wọ́n fẹ́ pépà òun gan sef ó ti shrink kò dàbí ìgbà tí tẹ́lẹ̀ ó máa ń kún lọ́wọ́ ni wọ́n lè máa ń polówó iṣẹ́ náà lórí pépà ó dà péjọ Thursday la máa ń polówó iṣẹ́ àwọn tá a bá ń wáṣẹ́ báyìí àlọ́ sórí àlọ́ wáṣẹ́ ṣé máa advertise iṣẹ́ sínú pépà Nàìjíríà àwọn ẹlòmíì wà nílùú wọn ka pépà o wọ́n máa bá rú àwa tí àwọn tó yẹ pé àwa ti jí láàárọ̀ máa kọ́ lọ mú pépà ẹlòmíì tó ti fa gbùrù lọ ṣiṣẹ́ cleaning a máa sọ jágbajàgba lórí social media wàá kọ́kọ́ mọ tó ń lọ ládùúgbò ẹ ọmọ tó ń lọ láyìíká ẹ pépà àdúgbò yàtọ̀ sí pépà gbogbogbò sórí gbogbo ibi tí coronation yẹn tó máa ti ṣẹlẹ̀ lélẹ̀ a royal fund of coronation Central London will be very busy during the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla on Saturday, May 6th. But there are a lot of other places to watch this historical event and join the celebration. O lè lọ láti South London, bus 54, bus 111, 216, 411, R68, bus 62. Àwọn tó ń lọ sí Chadwell 8 ọ̀nà gbogbo àwọn ibi tí àwọn Nàìjíríà pọ̀ sí nìyẹn. Cortisac, London Bridge máa busy bàjẹ́, bus 17, 21, 35, 43, 47. Gbogbo àwọn bọ́ọ̀sì ni mo mọ̀ 149, 343, 344, 388. A cathedral by the candle. So wo tó máa busy. So ibi tí n bá fi hàn wá fẹ́ lọ àti plan ní journey yẹn. Àdé mú iná fomi dání. Àwọn tó ń ra property lélẹ̀. Àwọn ará property lówó property. Ló tún wà ń bẹ̀ ká tó máa lọ. Ó yẹ kí n máa review paper fún yín lójoojúmọ́ paper UK. Ẹ lè mọ bí paper bí àná. Problem náà wà ní bíbá yìí. Sport lélẹ̀. Big Sam is back to rescue the struggling Leeds. Kí ló ṣe Leeds? Àwọn èèyàn tó mọ bọ́ọ̀ gbá dáadáa. Serena tí ló ti lóyún míì nàbí báwo? Ti lóyún míì. Wá ti lóyún kò ní lè play lawn tennis wọn for now yẹn. Wọ́n ní Leeds Chelsea ń lose àbíbá kan. So bóyá jẹ́ nìyẹn tèmi. The petrol price varies per state. Okay. What am I doing for Coronation Day? I don't have any plan yet. I'll be at home, I might go out. Jáde máa kọ́ máa káàkiri bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe oríwòde mọ́ náà lè jàre. Ní resources tó wà àwọn BBC. Àwọn yẹn ní wọ́n ní gbogbo àwọn staff wọn bá máa fi sí different places. So the best way is to watch it from BBC. They have the manpower, they have the technology. You can see different views. Tell me about logic on the show for you. So I don't have any plan. Serena, what to retire? I didn't know that. Elizabeth called for Queen Consort Charles change it to Queen. We are paying through our nose, Benny. I'm here to talk about abroad. I mean, it just gives you the, tó bá ti kọjá ìyá rẹ̀. Listen, kọjá ìyá rẹ̀. Tó bá ti lè kọjá ìyá rẹ̀, ó máa wà under stress. Tó bá ti kọjá ìyá rẹ̀, you'll be fine. So that's how far we could go. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Fátókẹ́ mo kí. I might just stay at home. I don't know. Or probably just end up take a bus straight down to central London. I don't know. I don't know what Saturday is going to be like. Nigeria prepared for Arara for 63 years. It's a bad thing. Nígbà tó wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ní owó bí ṣẹpẹrẹ. They should have used the money to now start developing a lot of people, but that never happened. And that's why we're still struggling today. Anyway, my people, I gotta go now. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, mo ń padà bọ̀, ẹ ṣé gan ni Pastor Mo. Aago mẹ́fà, mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Ṣèyí Tinubu and some other things and Yoruba Nation on Naija Voices. Checking out now. Bye for now. All our people with the Twitter, thank you so much for joining. Solomon Adedoyin and the rest of you. Oh, there's about 18 people. Wow. People don't miss us for Twitter. 18 people are watching me on Twitter. Interesting. Thank you so much. We gotta go now. Love you all. Bye for now.